sorry it's been a few days without me posting. I promised you guys a pins video and I took my time getting it done. That's partially because I recorded this pin video already this week and it took me a while. It was like 30 minutes of footage. Obviously I would edit all that down before I posted it, but it was a lot of footage. And I stopped recording and looked at my camera and realized that I had accidentally zoomed in on myself before I started recording. So it was like a close-up of my face and you couldn't see any of the pins, so I had to completely redo it. And I didn't have time to do it that day, and this is the next day I've been able to do it. So, pin video coming at you right now. One more thing I want to mention before I get started is I have been getting a lot of questions recently, and I'm not sure if it's because I asked people to ask me questions for the frequently asked questions video, or if it's just because people have questions they want answered. I've been leaving most of them unanswered with the intention of answering them all in the one frequently asked questions video. So if you asked me a question and I haven't responded yet, either on YouTube, on Tumblr, to my email, to my Twitter, I'm sorry. If it's an answer that you want right away, go ahead and ask me one more time and be like, hey, if you could answer this now, I didn't want to wait for your frequently asked questions video, I'm going to Disney like really soon and I need an answer. That's fine, I'll answer it. I just haven't been sure of what's supposed to be for my FAQ video and what's not. So if you want it answered, go ahead and ask it again and let me know you need a swift response, and I will do so. We also have a little bit of a change of scenery going on right now. It's not the best lighting. It's not as good as when I put my camera on my windowsill, but I want to be able to sit so I can like show you the pins and stuff. It's easier to sit in a chair than on my bed. I don't know. We're here today. I have like fake yellow lighting on me, and it's just gonna have to work. So before I show you my pins, I want to do a little bit of explaining of what pin trading is, how to pin trade, because I've gotten a couple of asks and comments of people asking me to explain it in further detail because they're not really sure what it is or how to do it. So we'll get like a pin trading 101 thing going on right now. Disney produces pins. At this point, there are hundreds of thousands of them that have been created and sold or traded through Disney. Pin trading exists at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. I don't know for sure about like Tokyo Disney or Disney of Paris or Hong Kong or anything about that, but I know that it exists at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. There are tons of locations throughout Walt Disney World where pins are sold, as well as tons of places where they're traded. So you can go into almost any merchandise location in Disney World and they will have a selection of pins there. Some stores have more selection than others. You see a pin you like, you go ahead and buy it, you pop it on a lanyard or in a little plastic baggie, whatever you do with your pins. You know, you can just buy them singularly in the stores. They cost about $10 at their cheapest, and they can go all the way up to $20, I think, at their most expensive. So there's a range there. So a lot of people just buy themselves a lanyard, go into stores, look for the pins they want, buy them, put them on their lanyard, display them, and that's as involved as they get, and that's great. So that's how buying pins works. You can also buy a little starter pack that comes with a lanyard and a couple pins. If you're trying to save some money, you can buy mystery packs that have different pins in them from different sets. There's a whole bunch of options for people who want to buy pins on Walt Disney property. So that's the buying part of the pins. Then of course there's the trading, which is the more involved part of pin collecting, I guess. All of the Walt Disney World merchandise cast members, if they are in a position or a store that allows them to do so, will wear a lanyard with pins on it. And if you see a pin on a cast member's lanyard that you really like, then you can trade with them. You go up to them, ask to see their pins, tell them the pin you want, and then you give them one of your own pins in exchange. You can't give them a pin that they already have, and you can trade up to 2 pins off of any lanyard. You can also trade up to 2 pins off of any pin board. A lot of locations, you know, stores, restaurants throughout Walt Disney World will have a giant board with, 50 to 100 pins on it. And a cast member will usually be standing by the board, so if you see a pin you want off the board, the process is the same. You say you want that pin, you give them one of your own. It can't be a pin that's already up there, and you can trade up to 2 off of that board. So that's the basics of how pin trading works. It gets a little more difficult when you start talking about completing sets and cast member only pins, and I'll explain those. A cast member only pin is a pin that Disney produces, but you cannot buy it in stores or anywhere on property. Disney will give the pins out to cast members to wear on their lanyard, so that if you want that pin, you have to go around and look at cast member lanyards, hoping that one of them will have the cast member exclusive pin that you're looking for. One of the most popular types of cast member only pins are the hidden Mickey pins, and I'll try to show you an example of that. A hidden Mickey pin will have a tiny little hidden Mickey somewhere on the pin. So that little silver Mickey on there, yeah, that's a hidden Mickey pin. Hidden Mickey pins are all cast member exclusive. You can only get them off cast member lanyards. Most of the hidden Mickey pins will come in sets. So a couple of pins that belong to a common theme, a common character, a common movie, so that they all go together. And in theory, you will look for cast members who are wearing cast member only pins of the set you are looking for, and if you trade with enough of them, you can complete the set. So an example of a set would be, again, to use the same pins, my Country Bear Jamboree set. These were all cast member only pins. I found them all in cast member lanyards, and there's 6 of them, and they're all characters from the Country Bear Jamboree. So that was one of the first sets I ever completed. Sets can have different numbers in them. You know, some sets only have 4, some sets have 14. It varies. So if you're the kind of person that wants to trade in order to complete sets, it can get kind of pricey because you need to buy pins from Walt Disney World, then trade those pins that you just paid $10 for, trade them away to get the one that you want. So I started buying the little mystery packs that you can buy in the pin stores where you get 5 pins for $25, which is a little bit better because the pins cost $5 instead of $10. And I used those to trade when I was trying to complete sets, but even that got a little too expensive. So if you're someone who's looking to trade pins a lot, I would recommend taking a look on eBay or Amazon and trying to find sellers who sell big batches of pins for cheap. When you're doing this, make sure you look for sellers that have high ratings, reliable reviews, all of those kinds of things, and look for sellers that state a return policy, either under the lot or on their user page thing. And those sellers are usually good. I bought from an eBay seller twice on my program. There was the one time that me, Tara, and Megan split 100 pins. It was 100 pins for $50, so we each paid like $13 for 30 pins, which, you know, is like 50 cents a pin. And I also bought 25 pins for $18. No, it was less than that. 25 pins for $12. Yeah, they're usually half. So if you're going down for your program, for a vacation, look for a lot that's, you know, the amount of pins that you want to trade. Buy them in advance. They all come wrapped individually in little plastic bags. Most of them are good quality, but they're totally random. You have no idea what you're going to get. Some of them can be cast member only pins, hidden Mickey pins. Some of them can be the ones you buy in the stores. But this way you get a bunch of pins that for the most part you don't really care about, so that you have a lot of pins for cheap that you can then use to trade. And that works really, really well if you want to trade. So what I did for most of my program was I did that. I bought lots of pins for the ones I wanted to trade for, and then I bought the specific ones that I really liked out of the store. Yeah, I think that summarizes pin trading. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them a little more fully in my frequently asked questions video, or I'll just respond to the comment. Not a problem, go ahead and ask away. So all of that being said, I guess I will show you my pins now. I ended up filling 4 lanyards while I was in Disney. Oops. After I got home, I completely reorganized them, so these are not the order I bought them in. I kind of grouped them together based on the types of pins they are. So I'll start with my 2 generic lanyards, which don't have any sets on them. They're just individual pins I really liked. Sorry, I just got a text message. Oh, there's another one. Right, so my pins. We'll start with the first lanyard. This is the first lanyard I bought. And this has a bunch of my generic pins that I bought individually. We'll start at the bottom here. I have Goofy's hat right at the bottom, because obviously Goofy's is where I spent my program working. And I have the 2013 pin that I bought because I did my program in 2013. Then I go into some of my classic characters like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit and a classic pie in the eye Mickey Mouse, which is my favorite variety of Mickey Mouse. Then we get my Steamboat Willie, and he's super cute. And I have this kind of Mickey Mouse dressed as a Dapper Dan. I'm not sure if it's from a cartoon or a movie or what. If anyone wants to let me know, they can. I found it on a cast member lanyard, and it is a hidden Mickey pin. So I'm not sure where he's from, but I just thought he was adorable. So I traded for him and put him with my other Mickeys. And then I also have my little Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey Mouse, and he's super cute. And then I have Walt surrounded by all of his original characters, which I love. And then I go into a little like Mickey and Minnie section. So one of the times I bought a big lot of pins off eBay, I got this Minnie Mouse, you know, leaning in for a kiss, and I thought it was super cute. Oh, she just popped off my lanyard. Right, so I thought it was super cute, and I figured I would hold on to it instead of trading for it, and I was looking at a cast member's lanyard later that week. I am losing pins, holy moly. Right, so I was looking at a cast member's lanyard later that week and found this Mickey, and realized that they go together, so that when you're wearing your lanyard and it's next to each other, this is difficult. Is that right? There we go. So theoretically, if I was wearing this lanyard, it's like they're kissing and Mickey's being all bashful, and it's super cute. So I held on to them. And then above them, I've got the two traditional black and white Mickey and Minnie that you can buy them as a little pair in the stores, but I actually found them separately on lanyards, so I traded for them. And then I have a really, really old school Mickey and Minnie pairing that I got out of the Mickey Through the Years mystery box, and they're super cute. Next is my little Peter Pan section. I got all my Peter Pan pins here. I bought a set that included Peter Pan, Wendy, John and Michael, and Tinkerbell. And you can see here I have Peter, and he's a little bit higher up on my lanyard, so it looks like he's flying, and Wendy and the boys are following him. There's the phone again. And it did come with a Tinkerbell, but I traded the Tinkerbell. I think I gave it to Tara, actually. Tara loves Tinkerbell. And that is because I already have a Tinkerbell, and you will see she is very beat up. There's my Tinkerbell. When I was little, I was never really into the pin trading thing. It wasn't something my family did, but as a souvenir, they did let my brother and I each pick out a pin that we could wear on our hat for the week, and I picked out this Tinkerbell. And that was in the year 2000, so she's an old pin, and you can see she's very beat up. And that's because she was on the lanyard that held my keys all through high school, so she got thrown into backpacks and beat up quite aggressively. Someone just came home. I have no idea who that is. Anyway, I already had a Tinkerbell to set with them, so I traded the other one and kept my original. I also have a little baby Peter Pan here. He's super cute. And I have this pin that I found. It's Michael flying in front of the moon with his teddy, and it's a hidden Mickey pin. I found it on someone's lanyard. So I have absolutely no idea what it's from, if it's from a set. It's probably from a set if it's a hidden Mickey. Yeah, I'm not sure where it's from. I just thought it was cute. And my last Peter pin, I have Peter's hat. Right on top there. Next I go into my little British movie pins, because some of the British characters are my favorite, like Mary Poppins and Alice in Wonderland. So I have Alice and the Mad Hatter there. You can buy them together, but I found them separately. And there's Mary Poppins. Oh, I lost another back. The backs are very easy to lose. I recommend you buy extra backs. See? Just buy extra backs and keep them in your bag when you go to the parks, so that if you have your pins with you and you lose one, you can just pop a new back on there and don't have to worry about hopefully losing your pin. The last few on this lanyard are just kind of extraneous. Got two of my favorite characters that are just adorable, Jiminy Cricket and Eeyore, who is certainly, oh my god, losing pins like crazy. Eeyore is definitely my favorite 100 Acre Woods character and one of my favorite Disney characters. And the last few I have on here is this one. It's Mickey holding a little heart, and the proceeds of that one go to charity when you buy it in the store. And then I have Love with the O as Mickey ears and my little button Mickey. So that's my first lanyard, 1 down, 3 to go. So my next lanyard is similar. It has more just generic pins that don't belong to a set, just ones I liked individually. And it also has all of my Donald Duck pins, and there are a lot. There are a bunch of pins. They aren't necessarily a set, but you can buy them in mystery packs, and they're Mickey Mouse shaped, but they're all representing different characters. So I have the Donald Duck one of those. Beneath it, I have this hidden Mickey pin. It's part of a soda pop set, but I just have the Donald one because I like Donald. And then also from a set is the Disney Dollar Donald. Ooh, alliteration. And Donald from the t-shirt set. And Mickey and Donald being friends and being cute. And Donald's hat. And Angry Baby Donald, which is adorable. And Donald being pissy. This is one of the first pins I ever bought. And everyone was like, why are you getting angry, Donald? Why don't you get him when he looks cute? And I'm like, because the thing I love about Donald is that he gets angry. He's got such a toot, and he's kind of a dick. And I like that he isn't a picture-perfect Disney character. I like that he's got some major flaws. So there's Donald Duck on a lollipop, which I just thought was cool. I have no idea what it's from. I found it on a cast lanyard, but I thought it was cute because it's my favorite character on a lollipop, which is kind of like Goofy's where I worked. I don't know if that's a stretch, but I thought it was cute. There's Nerd Donald, which is adorable. There's like a whole nerd series right now of the characters dressed as nerds on pins, as plush. I don't know if there's shirts, but there's a lot of nerd memorabilia down there right now. Another Angry Donald, of course. And this is Ragdoll Donald, again with the alliteration. And this is just a cute Donald, because look, he springs. Whee, he's dancing. And the Cupcake Donald. Cupcake is a set that Megan was working on. There's a bunch of characters represented as cupcakes. And then this is actually off one of the starter packs. It's just Donald being angry and thinking hard about something. So those are all the Donald pins. They're all in one place. And the rest of these are just kind of random. At one point I was collecting the monorails. They're a hidden Mickey pin set. But towards the end of my program, I was working on a lot of sets and didn't think I was going to be able to finish them all by the time I left. So I picked like a couple to really work on, and then started using the other sets to trade in order to get the ones I wanted to finish. So I stopped trading the monorails. The only one I saved was the yellow one because yellow's my favorite. And then I have like a little Pixar section. I have like the Peas in a Pod from Toy Story 3 and the Pixar lamp and the Ellie badge from Up, which we showed Russell when we met him at Animal Kingdom, Danny and I don't know if you remember, but he threw quite the tantrum when we wouldn't give him our Ellie badges. So that was adorable. This is, did I lose another one? No. Whew, jeez. This is Nala pinning Simba, and it says Pindy again. Isn't that punny? Because it's a pin? Yeah. This is my Hollywood Tower Hotel key. It used to have a little tassel on it, but that was back when I was just throwing my pins in my backpack and pulling them out when I needed them, and the tassel fell apart in my backpack. So then I started carrying them around in, like, on the lanyard, but in a little pouch, so that things like that wouldn't happen anymore. This is my Prairie Platypus and my adorable little Dumbo. These two I found on a pin board at the Ticket and Transportation Center gift shop. And if you guys are going to pin trade on your program or on your vacation, that is one of the best places to go to look for really good pins. And I think I know why. When you're a cast member and you get your first set of pins, it has a bunch of decent pins on it, you know, like cast member exclusive pins that people are looking for. So you wear your pins out. I never got to wear them at Goofy's because we work with food, but when I picked up shifts at other places, I got to wear my pin lanyard. So people come up, they take the good ones, give you kind of mediocre ones, and if they give you a mediocre one that other people don't want, it tends to sit on your lanyard for a while. So if you have pins on your lanyard that aren't moving and have been sitting for a while, you can go to the pin station backstage and swap some out and get good ones again so that, you know, you're not sitting with a boring lanyard for the rest of your program or for however long you're a cast member. The same thing works with pin boards. In the morning, they fill them up with, you know, the good pins that people are looking for. And then over the course of the day, they get traded out. And by the end of the day, they're left with some that are a little more mediocre or aren't as rare, so they're not as high of a demand. So this board at the Ticket and Transportation Center gift shop, I feel like people have no idea it's there because the gift shop's really small to begin with, and you have to ask to see it. They pull it out from under the counter there, so I feel like people don't know it's there. So, what? All my nails are chipping! Anyway, so I feel like people don't know what's there. So they fill it up with the good ones in the morning and no one comes to take the good ones. So whenever you go, I found so many good ones in there. And it's hard to only trade 2. But I got both of these from there and I found lots of hidden Mickey ones I needed to complete sets. So that's a great place to go look. I have a little Chip and Dale that they spring and wobble, so that's cute. Then I have my Chef Mickey's pin because that's where we ate on our first roomie date at the beginning of our program. And then I have the All-Star just the All-Star Resorts because that's where I stayed with Kenny. And then I have the Wilderness Lodge because that's my Disney home. It's where I've stayed many times with my family. So the last 2 pin lanyards have some sets on them. The first one I'm going to show you has some completed sets, and then it also has some pins that just kind of like go together with a common theme. I collected all pins that had to do with like England and the UK because I really like England. I don't know why, I've never been there. So I collected like British themed pins and Haunted Mansion pins, just like all things Haunted Mansion I collected, and then there are some sets on that, so I'll show you that. I guess we'll start with the sets. So here is my favorite set that I completed on my program, and they're the Disneyland tickets. When Disneyland first opened, you couldn't ride all of the rides for the price of admission. You were given a certain amount of tickets, and there were A tickets, B, C, D, and E tickets. And different attractions were labeled with a different letter, so you could use an A ticket on an A attraction. And E were the best rides, so like Pirates of the Caribbean and Haunted Mansion. And you got the fewest amount of E tickets and the most amount of A tickets. So you had to like figure out what rides you wanted to go on. It sounded very stressful. I lost another one. I heard it. Yep, I did. I'll get it. Anyway, so these are a hidden Mickey set, and they're little representations of all of the tickets, and they're labeled A, B, C, D, and E, and they're just super cute. And I worked the hardest to complete this one. This was probably the hardest ones to find that I did on my program. But I was so happy when I finished them, and I love them. This is the very first set I completed. It's the signatures of the main characters, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and Donald. And those are cast member only. Then I already showed you, but my Country Bear pins were the second set I completed. We all know how much I love my Country Bears. Then next is the Pet Cemetery set from the Haunted Mansion. There's like a little pet cemetery when you leave Haunted Mansion, so it's a bunch of tombstones from the Pet Cemetery. They're a little turned around right now, like that one's covering that one, but finish that off, and then I have the rest of my Haunted Mansion pins. I have the 3 Hitchhiking Ghosts, which are hidden Mickey pins. And I have this funny little one. It's a Star Wars joke. It says, "We meet again at last," and it has like, I don't know Star Wars, so I'm not really sure what character that is that's in a ghost, but it's Darth Vader talking to someone as a ghost, which is funny because it looks like the scene in Haunted Mansion where a ghost sits in your doom buggy. So I thought that was funny, even though I don't watch Star Wars. I keep losing them, and it's stressing me out. And then the last Haunted Mansion one I have, oh my god, is this clock. It's the clock from Haunted Mansion that has 13 numbers on it, and the hands of the clock are fingers. Yeah, I found that one. And then the rest of the ones on here are my 4 little British pins. You can see there. This one's especially funny because it has a building on it from the UK pavilion at Epcot. And that particular building in the UK pavilion looks exactly like the main hall of where I go to college. Frighteningly similar. In fact, I'll show you the pictures right now to prove to you that they are actually like identical. So I think that's really funny, and I definitely wanted that pin. So this is my very last lanyard, and these are all the sets that I was working on when my program ended. I didn't finish any of these, but I'll show you anyway. Over here I have some Disneyland stamps. There's 9 of them, and I got 5. But they're really cute. They've got all the characters on them. I wanted to complete that set, but I didn't. Then we have the popcorns. Disney sells a bunch of flavored popcorn, and there's a different character on the packages of each flavor, and they're like the old-timey characters, so they're super cute, and we sold those popcorns at Goofy. So when I found out that they were pins, I thought they were so super cute. They're hidden Mickeys. They just came out this year. 5 were released this year, and they'll release what's called a completer pin next year. For the hidden Mickey sets, they released the set this year, so like 2013, and then they release one more that goes with the set the following year called the completer pin. which is really annoying because if you go to Disney World in 2013 and finish this set, you technically didn't finish it because they're going to release one more the next year. And the only way you can get that is by trading off a cast member's lanyard or going to a pin store and making a purchase of $25, and then you are offered the chance to buy a completer pin for $225. But it's a random completer pin. It could complete any set that they released the year before, not necessarily the one you're looking for, so that's always tough. But I got 4 out of the 5 that released this year, and there'll be one more next year, so maybe someday I'll complete those. That was rude. My camera turned off. I think it's almost dead. After that, I'm going to do a things I wish I knew before my program video. And I'm still going to talk about Goofies, like a day in the life, and merchandise more specifically, and a vlog about all the places I picked up shifts, and a vlog about riding Everest and Dinosaur with the lights on. And I think that's everything I've planned for now. Again, if you have more things you want me to talk about, feel free to let me know. I'll probably give you guys a tour of my campus at some point. If you want to know more about our lives at home, feel free to subscribe to our update channel. So far there's a video from me and Kristen up there, and there will be another one from Tara on Friday, and then Megan will be next week, and then it goes back to me. So we're just showing each other around town, talking to each other, seeing what it's like post-Disney College program. So if you want to watch that, feel free. Otherwise, stay tuned for more videos coming up. I don't know. I never know how to end these. Bye!